Welcome back to another episode of Make It Happen Mindset. Today I'm joined by somebody who's very much a fitness professional through and through. He'll tell us a little bit about his background in a minute, Mr. Heron. Who is the co-founder of London's latest award-winning club called the Engine Room, which has got a brand new concept all based about rowing. I'm not going to go too much into it because I think we've got Chris here for a reason, and he's going to tell us a bit more about it. So, Chris, tell us a bit about how you got into fitness, your journey to where you are now.
Okay, yeah.
And perhaps some of the learnings that you can share with the audience.
Sure. So, I've been in the fitness industry for 22 years. When I started out, I was a fitness instructor back in the day. I don't even know if they still exist, but I was a fitness instructor and had 15 years in commercial fitness, from corporates to big commercial clubs, what was a sporter, David Lloyd, that kind of background, and decided I want to work for myself and set my own thing up. So I was a self-employed personal trainer, as a sole trader early in the days, back in the day, and I've just, cut a long story short, I've always been moving towards trying to get people better results in quicker periods of time and giving people better understanding of what really worked. So for a long time I used to sell myself by the hour, like most personal trainers do, and then over time built up a proposition that was a body transformation program that gave people basically everything in a pack that you need to get the best results. And was very successful with those. A very different approach to just one-on-one personal training when I was looking after somebody's nutrition, their blood testing, their supplements, every part of it.
So it's very holistic,
very
360.
Yeah, completely. I really kind of live in their pocket a little bit, but just took away anything that I knew was a risk of them not getting the results with. So told them when they needed to sleep, when they needed to eat, what they needed to drink, everything. So it was a bit of a white canvas, but I had to find the right kind of clientele for that. And then from there, really wanted to get into the group exercise space to get the kind of message out to the masses in terms of what really works. So for 2.5 years, looked at the industry, looked at different propositions, from running and lifting concepts, spinning, all the stuff I'd seen a lot in commercial clubs, and the industry was leaning towards a lot of these boutique studios, and fell into discovering rowing. No one had done it. No one was teaching anybody to do it. So went and experienced what was out in the market, and it felt very much like in its infancy, and that there was a gap in terms of teaching people how to row correctly, and no one was doing that. And then also what it really took to get really fit.
So what about rowing do you feel is unique? And obviously people do make mistakes, all the time, gym environment, whether it's, I did it last week myself, deadlifting, put out my back. Obviously having good instruction is absolutely imperative. The fact that it's not a weight loading sport or activity, do you think that reduces the risk of injury and encourages people perhaps not fit to get fit?
Yeah, I mean we've had people in that have kind of walked into the facility slightly broken from other types of exercise, and that was one big pull for us in launching the Engine Room, was that actually somebody could do it that's got a lower limb injury or an upper limb injury or something that's stopping them from running, or they can't spin, or they're overweight, to be a bit more all-encompassing. And people, we've definitely seen that since we've opened, that people come and do it that have got injured from other things. But going back to what you said about learning to do it right, I didn't want to open the facility without that integrity and having people do it right. Having been a personal trainer for 22 years, it's like sort of deep down in my soul to not let people not run the show that way. You know, it's not about just bums on seats. We want to do something that teaches people to do something better. So we teamed up with a GB athlete, and he's currently rowing and preparing for the next Olympics. And early in the journey, before we launched the engine room, I went on a journey with him. He coached me online for 4 months. I went and competed. And
how did you do?
I did alright. I came fourth in like an indoor in their national championships, in Ireland's national championships.
Yeah.
So for my age, so I went on a big journey of training on the thing twice a day. You know, just because I wanted to feel what the experience. You know, even though I was. I trained for a lot of years. I just wanted to know what it took to get fit at rowing, and also then really learned that piece around how important the technique was.
And how much do you think your fitness has changed as a result of
rowing? Back then, a lot. So I interviewed recently Vicky Dawley, is another GB silver medalist. She's been to 2 Olympics and she's training now for the next Olympics. I interviewed her and asked her, look, biasly or unbiasedly, what's better, running, rowing or cycling? And she said, look, when we're injured, we do cycle because it's a lower body dominant sport, but we have to do time and a half, which says a lot. So if you're injured, you have to do an hour and a half on the bike compared to the rowers doing an hour on the erg. So because it's full body and because you are in control of every movement, so there's nothing plugged into that machine. Everything you have to do. So if you get the pattern of movement right, you're going to recruit 85% of your body every stroke, which nothing does that. Cycling doesn't do that, running doesn't do that. No. So you've got the fact you've got that low impact, you've got the fact there's a skill element, and that you're people like to learn something new. Right? They're like kind of an experience of, okay, I'm learning something as well as getting fit.
So when people are in the Greek environment, does it get quite competitive?
Really competitive. But we were fearful at the beginning of entering into putting the stats on the screen because we thought that might put people off. But people soon zone into their own information and want to know about them. The fact they're in a room with great lights and great music in that environment, it pushes them to work harder. But it isn't, you know, we tell people, wherever, especially on their first experience, you're going to see the numbers. Just be mindful of where you're at. You know, you might not be able to do the splits right now, but you might be trying to work towards doing the splits, and you just have to be aware of where you are, what level you're at.
Things like CrossFit are driving awareness of rowing? Because obviously it plays
19.1. Their recent, is that how you did that? Yeah, okay. So, yes, I think they are. Let's not talk about 19.3, how good or bad that workout is. But yeah, I think so. But I think people are bored, Daniel. People are bored of, and they just will be bored generally of all the running and lifting concepts and the spin. What's next, right? Or rowing seems obviously next, you know, in the lead-in of boutique fitness, and it's just not as, you know, you've got so many other concepts out there, boxing and running, you've got so many of those other ones out there, no one's done the rowing thing yet.
And so engine room, obviously, it's got meaning.
Absolutely, so the reason why we came up with the word engine room is because it's the middle 3 guys in a rowing boat, they're the fittest and strongest in an 8. It's also, you know, used in rowing rugby, it's used like in CrossFit, like a lot, how big's your engine. So we felt that it's and we're all about fitness. That's what we want to be about, getting people actual factual change. So that's our proposition. So the fact that the word engine lends itself to getting your lungs bigger, reducing your resting heart rate, just getting fit, right? What's wrong with that, you know? And also moving away from some anecdotal experiences and moving back towards some measures. And don't fear that, you know? There's no reason to fear that at all, but it's just what rowing does nicely, depending on the spectrum of how fit you are when you walk into the studio, it gives you that marker, right? And what's been fantastic is people see change really fast. Because I think, personally, my opinion is because of the full bodiness of the workout, and we couple it with strength on the, you know, off the rower. So you get everything worked. Gone are the days of the split routine, you know, in my opinion, for the general public in terms of them getting fitter. We know they need to do the big stuff. they need to do the big lifts, and they need to do it safely with this, in a really fun environment. So that's what.
I mean, I've obviously been down. It is visually stunning.
Yeah,
it's one of the most beautiful places I've been to. There's obviously been no expense spared. Do you think? No, obviously the visual experience. Do you think that's again becoming more important?
Massive. I mean, if you look at the US market in terms of boutique, they're very much, they've got better occupancies, they've got better numbers, but we definitely, it's clear to see in London, we've pushed ahead of New York in terms of the look and feel. I'd hope to think we were part of that, and people want that. They want the newest and greatest. And a phrase we use is under the lights quite a lot, because people come to be under those lights. They really like the lights, and it's just, it's an experience. People are buying birthday and Christmas presents now. They're experiences. They're not buying material things. So I think that if you can give people that full experience, it's great. One thing we've done recently, again, just feels like that's the way the market's going. If someone doesn't have, a bottle, they've forgotten it, they can borrow one with engine room on, and it's plastic free, and just making it convenient and work for today's busy lifestyles. I'm not going to remember to carry a bottle with me.
Absolutely. Maybe. So trying to prepare for those things.
Yeah, prepare for those things and try and make it easy. Try and make it easy for people.
So obviously another thing that's happened, I guess, whilst we've both been in this industry, is the proliferation, for better or for worse, of social media.
Yeah.
How important is that been in developing the brand? How important is that going to be in developing the brand in the future, do you think?
I come from a phase of learning to be a personal trainer in the late 90s, of when obviously there wasn't really much social media. So my school of thought, and it still will always be to the day I die, is do the best for the person who's in front of you right there and then.
Yeah.
So we really want. I don't ever want to come away from that, because I think that's really important. But getting good quality information out there and telling people what you're about is obviously the way of the world now. We have to move into that stage change. We are going down the route of talking to professional rowers that are in the British team about, but more like anecdotally, okay, what's your experiences of learning to row, and what could you give the general public to help them learn to row better, and why is rowing better, and what have you. We're trying to make rowing cool, rather than it be something that's just a warm-up machine or a bit, in the corner of the room. We really wanting to make it actually, this is a machine that anybody can use and that can deliver in terms of fitness results. Arguably rowers and cyclists have got the biggest lungs in sport, right? So, if we've got that and that potential, and you can take anybody on that journey, it's easily accessible, loads of metrics and stats for people to run away with, and get more into that, more into the tracking, which people love, getting in and tracking and seeing their numbers improve. That's one thing I think we can push in social media as well.
And obviously you've got an amazing partnership with Technogym. How important has that been to you in kind of getting your idea into reality?
Well, at the beginning, and all those three have been really supportive of the process, and to have such a global brand and be the first to have those rowing machines has been great. And definitely, I'm involved in the future of the development of that product with them. And that's exciting because it's a bit more than just me, like what I'm doing day to day.
Got some backup.
Yeah, got some backup, and also they are looking to me for some advice on the changes on that, which I'm really happy to be part of, because that just feels like then we'll be able to get to the bigger numbers better and quicker, and develop something. We're trying to develop something that's between the extreme of what people see of boring erg sessions for historical, it's been there, and then you've got this boutique market that's fun and anecdotal. We're trying to marry the two a little bit to say to people, you can have both. You can have both. There's no reason why you can't have both.
And what's been the biggest challenges? Because obviously you've got an existing business model which works very well, which I guess has allowed you to do this.
Yeah. Biggest challenges are, just going to say the same as what you see in every self-help YouTube video, right? I mean, there's never enough hours in the day. There's never, you never made it, I think, and you've got to realise that whatever happens, you just got to keep getting back up and doing better and doing better and doing better and doing better. Yeah. And I think persistence, I've always been like that in terms of my personality anyway, but if you're thinking, being an entrepreneur or starting something new, we are starting something new because people have done rowing, but they haven't put all those pieces together.
Yeah.
So
it's evolved.
It's definitely evolved. That's a good word. Like the first 4 months, we've evolved the proposition so much, and it's going and going and going and spinning all the time. So just being just be aware of things that happen. Roll with the punches. Contractors, builders, suppliers, all those things that are just emotional drains.
Yeah.
And dealing with different people on different levels and understanding their nuances a little bit and trying to, it's almost like when you take a car and you don't know anything about it and they tell you it's going to cost you £1,000, you don't know whether it should cost you £1,000 or whether it should cost you £100 or whether you should not spend that money. So I think the biggest lesson I've learned is to, I'm quite impulsive. I think like being in this game and being an entrepreneur, you're quite impulsive. You want to make change quickly.
Yes.
So I think one thing I've definitely learned is take a breather. Take a breather, sleep on something, give it a week, even give it a month. But be mindful and keep an eye on your current business. Don't let that go. Don't let go of that. I think that's easy to get waylaid into other stuff. You've got to remember what pays the bills, and certainly that's been a lesson, big time.
Yeah.
Because you don't realise what driving force you are sometimes, and when you take your foot off the gas in other areas, you soon see how that affects that.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does, 100%. I think, we're all guilty of looking for the next exciting thing, particularly if you're an entrepreneur, you're always looking for excitement. That's what drives us. It's not necessarily the bottom line, which is probably what it should be.
Yes.
It's I've created something new.
Yes.
I'm so excited, I want to tell the world.
Yes.
We obviously need a good accountant to kind of bring us back down to earth. So
that's a good lesson. I've learned. I've got a good accountant now.
So I think hopefully you've learned a little bit from Chris's experience. Obviously, we want to try a session. I think we're very happy to have you down in the engine room, and we're definitely going to keep up with the ever-changing developments that are happening there. So just 3 final tips from you, Chris, for people who are not necessarily into fitness, but are looking to try something new, revolutionise, go in a different direction. What would those be, do you think?
I think do your homework, number 1.
Yeah.
Do your homework, and if that means slowing the start point, then do that. But probably just as equally as important, don't hang on it.
Yeah.
I think that I've definitely got personal clients who are entrepreneurs that are a lot more successful than me. One of the ones that I found was that I was waiting a long time to launch the product, and in hindsight, I wish I'd launched it a few months earlier.
Yeah.
Definitely do your homework, do enough, but be happy that it's a bit MVP, right? It's minimal viable proposition. Be happy with that.
Yeah.
Because actually, that can be enough to just get you by and get you through, to the next stage.
I read something the other day. It was don't let great get in the way of good.
Yes, that's really good. Yeah. Or I think Alan Sugar says, or one of those guys, maybe one of the dragons. It's about just be happy at 70% of being good. And I think that's a lesson learned because I'm a real perfectionist. But I've learned to let go a little bit earlier of things and move it on. And then don't take your eye off anything.
Yeah.
Do not take your eye off anything. And if you do, be ready for the pain.
Shit. Yeah.
Be ready
Well,
for
on
the
that,
day.
what we're going to do is see if your increased lung capacity can translate into getting a high score
Oh my
on our
goodness,
boxing
what's this?
machine.
Okay.
So with no further ado, thank you very much, Chris.
Okay, thanks.